the US media.
Okay, John Donison, thank you very much. Well, speaking of Democrats, I'm joined now by Congressman Brad Sherman, a Democrat from California, member of the US House Foreign Affairs Committee, its subcommittee as well, on the Middle East and North Africa. Welcome, Congressman. First of all, just wanted to get your thoughts and reaction to those reports that we've heard and we were discussing just then about the assessment.
I think your reporting is consistent with what I'm hearing. A number of factors aren't being focused on much in the reporting. One of those is that all of Iran's strategic and economic assets are now available to the Israeli Air Force. Israel has not taken out their refinery capacity, their electric generation capacity, or Karg Island and oil export facilities. All of those, though, are vulnerable. So Iran has every reason to negotiate. At the same time, the stockpile appears to still be in Iranian hands. That's enough for 9 nuclear weapons, roughly, and it's at 60%, but they only need, if they only retain 12% of their enrichment capacity, they could make a bomb every 2.5 weeks out of the stockpile that they have. So economically, Iran is very vulnerable, and in terms of its nuclear program, it's not set back nearly as far as people are saying.
Congressman, I'll just read you what we've heard from the White House on this. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt saying that this alleged assessment is flat out wrong and was classified as top secret, but was still leaked to CNN by an anonymous low-level loser in the Intelligence Committee. She says the leak is a clear attempt to demean President Trump and discredit the brave fighter pilots who conducted a perfectly executed mission to obliterate Iran's nuclear program.
When they say obliterate the program, they're not even saying whether it's obliterate the centrifuges and the ability to create uranium in the future, or enrich uranium in the future, or whether it's obliterate the stockpile. The fact is that there were photographs of trucks going to Fordo the day or two before the raid. Presumably, they moved the stockpile out. And nothing from the Trump administration says they got the stockpile. The stockpile's enough for roughly 9 nuclear weapons. Now, if they destroyed the centrifuges, that diminishes the ability of Iran to create the 10th, 11th, or 12th nuclear weapon. But when you just say the program, well, what does that mean? Does it mean the stockpiles? Does that mean the weaponization capacity? Does that mean the centrifuges? Using vague terms is what you do when you can't make a strong case using specific terms.
I mean, isn't it fair to say, Congressman, that actually we don't yet know either way?
We don't, but all indications, including Vice President Vance's statement, indicate that we don't think we got the stockpile. And the stockpile, again, is what Iran would use to create its first 9 nuclear weapons.
Let me ask you about this, though. Putting that aside, you can't deny that this has been a brilliant few days for President Trump. Since that strike at the weekend, now a ceasefire which continues to hold. I know it's early into that. And that message from Mark Rutte, which was very gushing, saying that it was a truly extraordinary thing that he did at the weekend, something no one else dared to do. He's really winning praise, isn't he, at the moment?
Well, the Israelis are going to praise Trump because they want to get more things from Trump. The fact is that it's Israel that destroyed Iran's air defense system. It's Israel that had this superb intelligence.
But this is a message from NATO. This is from Mark Rutte, not Israel. That's what I read out.
Yes, I didn't catch who you were reading it out for, but the fact is the United States hit 3 facilities, apparently did not get the stockpile, did do something amazing, but not necessarily effective. And many things can amaze you without being effective.
The ceasefire after 12 days of intense conflict. So far, it's holding.
We have a ceasefire that may last days, weeks, or months, but ultimately we have to go back to the negotiating table, and we need IAEA boots on the ground. We need them to ship out the stockpile. I think everybody's amazed at the technology that the United States deployed and the military success and the total inability of Iran to defend its own airspace. But that doesn't mean that Iran doesn't have enough 60% enriched uranium to create 9 nuclear bombs. And the heroism of American pilots should be recognized, but they can only bomb that which is at the site they're bombing. And if the stockpile wasn't there, then they didn't hit it.
Just to ask you again, though, Congressman, if I may, just to round this off, really, it's a strategy that worked because we have now got a ceasefire in place. Also, when you look at NATO, for example, it looks like the president's comments may have pushed European nations to up their defence spending. So many people will say, you know, he is on a bit of a high at the moment. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
He has associated himself with the Israeli total destruction of Iran's defense systems. And he is associating himself with the technology that he inherited from prior administrations that allowed us to hit an underground facility that no other country could have hit. But whether or not NATO countries are going to increase their defense spending, no NATO leader has gone to their people and gone to their parliament and said, here are the tax increases that we're going to adopt in order to afford a massive, perhaps doubling or tripling of our defense budget. And likewise, the administration wants to talk about destroying a program without talking about the stockpile, which is the only thing that Iran can use to develop, to create nuclear weapons over the next 6 months or a year. If that stockpile wasn't hit, we have to return to the negotiation table and point out Iran's vulnerabilities and secure that stockpile being turned over to the IAEA.
Okay.
As to a ceasefire, yes, there's a ceasefire. Nobody was saying, 2 weeks ago, isn't it wonderful that there's no bombing in Iran? So we're back to where we were a week and a half ago.
Okay, Congressman. Well, of course, let's see how things unfold on all of those fronts in the coming days. Thank you very much for your time.